I met Fred like 5 years ago, and I was very interested by his art and his way of working and what he do with his print. Even our techniques are very different. I saw the links.
You could see also from Fred's own work this sort of collage or scattering of printed objects. It's already inviting for movement. It's already asking the viewer to imagine connections and a flow of mechanics between the printed pieces.
I'm using a lot of elements that are inspired by infographic, data visualization, and I like the arrow because, you know, if you have an arrow in this direction, people with it create a story, and if the arrow is the other direction, the story is totally different. When the is lost, he can try to create new things. So new questions. So it's very interesting to explore what those kind of very simple elements that we see everywhere could change a story.
Illustrations made by Fred, I kind of see a lot of war and military elements versus creatures like birds and mice and elements from creatures living in the city. Kind of wonder if this has a story behind the connection between the rats and tanks.
For me, what are we doing? I think it's a kind of representation of our world, evolving between utopic and dystopic world, and with a lot of new elements that are growing. You don't know if it's something good or something ugly. We already wrote a text about this subject for an exhibition. It's because the link, I think, between the Middle Age and our epoch is quite strong, because Fred is using the very old techniques of woodcut print, and I think Middle Age was a very strange epoch with a lot of change too, and the woodcut print for printing book was maybe like the invention of internet. So in the Middle Age art, you can find a lot of monster everywhere, like scary in architecture. I think that could be an interpretation of our work, and maybe also this idea that we are working on could also influence the choice of elements that we chose. And I had a question for you, because this piece, this one, for me it looked like a cluster of islands,
Yeah, well, I mean, for me it has to do with the very essence of the solid patterns, and I mean, you kind of see that on the wall, in the paint, in wherever you see. I started to be fascinated with this visual element, like the pattern, and how the cracks and the sand, and like mud. In terms of scale, you can, if you go to microscopic, very microscopic, you see the same constellation. If you look at like the nebulas, they kind of have the same alignment. So I tried to present this in an abstract format, and also like in a symbolic manner, like to fabricate this myself in opposition to computer. Kim Perlin started to he wrote this algorithm that computer would be able to simulate nature systems from the very beginning of creating patterns out of randomness or out of noise. So I work together with the computer in this manner. Like I ask the computer to create random terrains, and then I would, as a sculptor, I would look at the terrains, the digital 3D model, and I would sculpt it, trying to copy the nature that is simulated by a computer.